Good evening, everyone. Today is April the 2nd. The time here in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia is 8:41 in the evening. Right. So I'm gonna invite a potential buyer. Okay. I'm inviting those who visited my Gold Trade Worldwide page. I am giving you the update in order for you to understand why we are locked down. We are locked down because we have the coronavirus. Lucky that I returned very fast before the lockdown worldwide. I was in Conakry and I was also in in Africa. Mhm. I was in Africa and I don't have any problem dealing with the seller because my seller is real, and you have a problem because you are not real, and you have a problem because you're looking for cheap price, and you have the problem because you are not telling the truth that you don't have the cash. You have a very limited cash. I'm going to greet Natividad from Philippines. She is in Adelaide right now. Thank you for watching. And Tris, my former colleague from real estate many years ago. We worked together. Thank you, Tris. And how is the south side, the coronavirus? We are we are locked down. The whole world is locked down. But we don't wear mask. In Brisbane, we are just simple, and we have to be extra careful as well. We go out, we do the shopping, there is no police. As in it, Trace, we just buy what we can afford to buy. So anyway, I know you say Wilhelmina for a few weeks since I arrived. I did arrive March 2nd. I was in Sierra Leone, I was in Conakry, Guinea, and I was in Dubai. Having meeting with the potential buyer. Most of the buyers are joker. Why I call them joker? They don't have the money, they pretend to have the money. In Dubai, there's a lot of buyer looking for cheap price. Gold is not cheap. But anyway, I understand that we are on the the world is locked down and the world is under financial stress at the moment. Meaning to say, some of the people lost the job, some businesses closed because we cannot sit down in the restaurant. We have to distance 1.35 from each other. But anyway, the reason why I'm here, because I would like to explain the gold and the rough diamond. As you know that the world is in collapse right now. The central bank keep printing the paper money, but they don't have the gold reserve. And those gold trader, gold manufacturer, jewelry manufacturer, they don't have supply because we are locked down. And we have the supply. We don't worry at all. Now I was in the head office in Conakry, Guinea, and I interviewed a lot of buyers. They trouble, they are unprepared. They trouble because they think they can get gold credit. Credit means CIF. CIF is stand for cost, insurance, and freight. Of course, you have to pay the shipping cost. Of course, you have to pay insurance before you pay the goods, before you take the gold out of the country. Now, I would like to give you an example. Tris and I, we used to work together as a real estate agent, right? And we sell apartment. I'm using this as an example. We sell apartment in Ipswich many years ago, and also in Northside, which I work from different developer. We have the property, right? This is an example, Mr. Buyer, I'm giving you. This property, then plus the amount plus GST, which is 10%. On the contract, we have to put the amount of the property plus GST plus stamp duty. So we are really transparent. Now in Africa, the sellers, they don't tell you that. That is the reason why the seller hired Wilhelmina in order for me to tell the world, when you buy this precious item, the price is there, plus the value added tax, plus shipping cost, plus insurance. So we have to put that on the contract. So you got my point, Mr. Buyer? I've given you an example on how to buy property because I used to be real estate. And as I've said to you, we are now on the modern way of doing business. We are on social media. Wilhelmina is the one who brought this transparency. I created my online store called Gold Trade Worldwide page. Now, Mr. Buyer, when you meet this lady in front of you, the full corporate offer is in front of you. I want you to read. I want you to digest it properly and listen first this video, because this video will enlighten you on how to secure this precious item, gold and diamond. Now you must remember, the world is on panic right now. In Africa, 98% gold produced in Africa. Ghana, Mali, Conakry, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Togo, Burkina Faso, and so forth. Now, I handle Conakry, Guinea, I handle Sierra Leone, I handle Mali. I fired the seller in Ghana, so don't go to Ghana because gold in Ghana are all imported from border to border. You're gonna be trapped in Ghana. Now, the reason why I'm here, because I'm going to explain to you on how you are going to secure gold. People, some angry, some people are laughing, some people are crying. You're gonna become angry and you're gonna cry because we are locked down. There is no international flight. I have a very good challenge for you, Mr. Buyer. I have a very good challenge for you. Now, remember, we sell gold premium. Our selling price, less 5%. Remember, in every video, our selling price, less 5% based on the world market. Now, on my previous video, I explained it, that you need Wilhelmina with you. You need it because Africans are fickle-minded, you must remember. They would not tell you what necessary requirement you're gonna need. They will not tell you. So I'm the one who will explain to you because the seller hired Wilhelmina. I'm going to explain step by step in order for you to comprehend, in order for you to understand. Right? Okay. As I've said to you, our price is less 5% based on the world market today. Today the price of gold is 51. Let's use the arithmetic. I'm gonna get my where's the calculator? Okay. Now let's talk about the price of gold today, $51,000, right? On $51,000, our selling price is less 5%. Now, if I'm going to be with you, I'll give you 3% extra because I charge you my extra service to cover my transport, like airfare, my travel insurance, my hotel accommodation, spending money, and food. So that is my extra. Okay? Now you're gonna say, oh, why should I pay Wilhelmina extra? That is a very good question. You are buying $1 million here, right? And if I'm not around, I'm telling you there would be surprises. So if I'm around with you, there would be no surprises because I already explained to you what necessary requirement that you're gonna get when you pay the gold. Now, the gold is very clear here. There's a full corporate offer. I'm not going to explain to you. I want you to read after you watch this video. Now, let's talk about Conakry, Guinea. First, in Conakry, Guinea, the government have a tough regulation. So when you read the full corporate offer in front of you here, then I put everything what necessary, require export documentation you're gonna need, asset report, commercial invoice, attestation, ownership, custom clearance, airway bill, etc. It's in here. So don't be excited. Just digest it properly. So now you send a letter of intent after you read the full corporate offer. The letter of intent to buy is coming from you, Mr. Buyer. Dear Wilhelmina, I've been watching you, I've been following you for many years and many months. Now I decided to secure gold because I cannot function without the supply. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. Is that right? So now, you send the letter of intent attention to Wilhelmina because Wilhelmina is the seller's mandate. Wilhelmina will review your letter of intent. Wilhelmina will reject you if you don't specify properly. Now, this is what you're going to do on your letter of intent, your company letterhead, name, address, etc., etc. So when I receive it, you send it to Wilhelmina, attention. Now, my seller, you're going to say, Wilhelmina, who is your seller? My seller is a mineral consulting group of company. Okay? The seller, you cannot muck around with my seller in Conakry, Guinea. He is the first cousin of the president. And this guy, the father, he is the advisor to the president, so you cannot muck around. Alright? I'm giving you the warning, do not muck around. So, I'm going to review your letter of intent. Then, when I review it, I will send it to the head office. I will advise the office, let's respond this buyer a letter of confirmation that we receive his order, because on your letter of intent, you need to specify how many kilos, how many quantity on the first, second, and third, and fourth shipment. And you need to put the mode of payment. A minute you put CIF, you will not receive a response from us. Because I told you that our selling price is F.O.B, bank to bank. There is no upfront bank to bank because of money laundering and gold laundering. So if your money is dirty, then you're going to be accused as money launderer, or you're going to accuse us gold launderer. So everything must be clean. The payment must be coming from your bank account to the seller's bank account. Right? So when you order, our request minimum order is 20 to 50 to start with. I would encourage you to start 20 kilos. You don't know us and we don't know you. So you need to build your credibility to us. So now, you reserve 20 kilos, right? Because we're going to send to you a letter of confirmation and the contract. Because I'm going to gather all your information. I'm the one. I will gather your business license. I will request your passport copy. I will require you to send us your importation license. And I will require you to show us the proof of bank statement that you have available on 20 kilos. You must remember that 20 kilos is $940,000 already, so almost $1 million. So you need to be transparent as a buyer, because we are transparent. Wilhelmina is transparent. You see this beautiful face. I'm a transparent, and the full corporate offer is in here. Right. So, who is this person giving? Just a minute. Someone is kind of Natividad and Trish is watching my live video. But anyway, going back to Conakry, Guinea. So the 20 kilos, you come to the office because I'm going to be with you. I will arrive the day before you arrive. So I'm going to meet you in the airport with my driver. So we will welcome you. So your 20 kilos will be waiting for you in the office. The gold will not come to the hotel. The gold will not bring to the central bank without meeting you. You come to the office, there is your 20 kilos. You inspect, you like it, right? So, okay, Mrs. Ford, I like the 20 kilos. So, we will send the gold to the central bank. Before the gold leave the premises, you need to make a partial down payment, just like when you buy properties. You come to the office, isn't it, Trish? When the buyer comes to the office, sign a contract, the buyer make a down payment of buying gold exactly the same. So remove your mentality that upfront, there is no upfront. You need to have a commitment. So you arrive, make sure you have money, hey? Make sure you have available fund in your bank account, huh? Okay, so now you see the 20 kilos, you make a partial down payment of 20% of 940. Why is 940? Right? We give you 8% because I'm charging you my travel cost, remember? Instead of 5%, I throw back the 3%. So you're a winner. You are a winner. So if I am on the ground, if I have a very good mood, right, I will ask my seller, okay, let's give this buyer 10% or 11%. I'm the one who will dictate my seller. I'm the one. Now you're gonna see, what is your position, Wilhelmina? That's a very good question. I am the official mandate of the seller. I am officially appointed. That is why I have the power to say yes or no. I have the power. I can reject you if I'm not satisfied with your profile. Because when you come to me, I look at on your profile on Facebook. If I cannot see your profile and your picture, I start to doubt on you. I start to doubt. So be careful of this lady because I'm very sharp. This is for you. I don't want you to be frustrated. I don't want you to be to deceive yourself. I refrain using scam. The word meaning scam is lied, manipulate, and deceive. That is the real meaning of scam, the old version. Okay? So now, going back to Conakry, eh? So you make a down payment. So it depends on how much money you bring. So when you make a partial commitment, then the gold will be brought to the central bank to assay the gold. So a minute that you got the assay report, you transfer the payment from your bank account to the seller's bank account. So it would take 3 working days to 3 to 5 working days maximum because we have a time difference. So when your payment would be clear on the balance because you make a down payment of 20% or maybe 15%. It depends on how we negotiate on the table when you are in the office. Okay, so then whatever the remaining balance, you transfer it to my seller's bank account. So you have to stay in Conakry for 9 days. So yeah, once your payment would be cleared because your payment going to the correspondence bank in New York, then go to the central bank of that country, then the central bank to the branch, right? Then to the seller's bank account. So it passed through different branches. Correspondence bank, then the central bank, then the central bank to the branch, then the branch sometimes it delays. So you have to wait for maximum stay in Conakry 9 days. So now payment would be cleared. Then the seller will process your export documentation because the seller will declare that to his government. The seller will pay all the charges to the central bank. The seller will pay the value tax to the central bank. The seller will remit the royalty to the central bank because that is business. The seller has an obligation to pay all the taxes. You pay the products. Remember when I explained to you about when you buy properties here in Australia, I'm giving you an example. You buy the property worth 450,000 plus GST 10% plus stamp duty. That is normal. Buying gold exactly the same. So I'm giving you an example. I'll be annoyed. Oh, Wilhelmina, why I should pay tax? No, you have to pay. You have to pay the product plus value tax. That is the reason why I explain it to you. Now, when your payment is fully paid, you're gonna say, "Well, Amina, I give your seller down payment. What happened to my gold? Don't worry, you will not be scammed. I'm with you. You will see the office. You will see the seller. My seller own the building. My seller own 7 concessions. So my seller is not fly-by-night seller. He is not a fly-night businessman. He's a real businessman. Don't muck around with us. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a warning. Do not muck around because my seller is very powerful. So then, once your payment would be process all the paperwork, the gold will be carried by the armor car. If you want to hand carry, the armor car will bring the gold to the airport in Conakry, and then the custom will see the custom documentation, whether the seller really done properly, whether the buyer pay the gold, because it will reflect into the system called cash inflow. Do you understand what is cash inflow? If you don't understand, do the research. What is the meaning of cash inflow? Cash inflow means you pay the seller into his account so that the seller can tell the central bank the buyer paid the gold. That is called cash inflow. So if you're done, then do the research. Because I done my research. What is the meaning of cash inflow? Now, I'm going to summarize on Conakry. You send a formal letter of intent, attention to Wilhelmina. You're going to say, home to address. Well, address it to Mineral Consulting Group of Company, attention to Wilhelmina, because I am the mandate. So then, I will advise my seller to proceed or not to proceed. Remember, a few minutes ago, I explained to you that you send me your business license, your passport copy, your proof of fund, your bank statement. The three things, if you cannot show us, if you cannot convince us that you are real a buyer, I will reject you. I will ignore you. A minute you're going to say CIF, then your letter of intent would be on the wheelie bin, because gold is not for credit. Gold is cash business. You must remember, everybody is crying for supply. If you don't have the money, how are you able to function your business? So this is cash. Just like to buy property, you have to go to the bank and borrow money. And you pay the vendor of his property. Buying gold, exactly the same. I'm using the real estate because I used to be in real estate. So now, you're going to invest $940,000 for 20 kilos. So, we are selling 47 on 8%. But if Wilhelmina is a very good mood, I might able to ask my seller, okay, let's give this buyer 11%. So your profit is really substantial. So you add that on 12 months, your profit is 1,916,455 in 12 months, your profit. You're going to say, oh, Wilhelmina, how did you figure out? Very simple, use your calculator. Very simple, you're a businessman, you should know that. I'm giving you the example. This is true. On 20 kilos, if I'll give you 8%, our selling price is 47. If I'll give you 11%, our selling price is $45,000. No matter the price goes up, because this is a challenge. The price after the coronavirus lifted, you never know, the price of gold will turn to 57. Our selling price is 45, because we have the commitment when you make a reservation. If you don't make a reservation and then you ask me, well, Amina, can you give me 11%? No. Our price changed when the world market changed the demand. There's a saying, supply and demand determine the price. So when you make a reservation, we send you the contract subject for lifting the coronavirus, then you will get $45,000 per kilo. If the price is high, if the price 57, you still get 45. On the first shipment only. On the second shipment, our price changed. Okay? So don't confuse yourself. So I think I already explained it to you. Now, let's talk about gold and diamond. Conakry, we have diamond. You watch the video presentation on Mineral Consulting Group of Company. Watch that properly on my Gold Trade Worldwide. I'm sure you are a buyer. You're gonna be aware that you are dealing with the right seller. Okay? Now, let's talk about Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, they have a different government regulation. Now, in Sierra Leone, you inspect the gold, you inspect the rough diamond. Going back to Conakry, we have rough diamond. In Sierra Leone, we have also rough diamond. Now, let's talk about rough diamond. Okay? In rough diamond, you see the manifest video to video on Gold Trade Worldwide page. You select which video you are going to secure. Okay, select it and review it. Then you say, Wilhelmina, I like this video 1, video 2, video 3. So, you're gonna ask the price. I will respond to you. My question back to you, are you really a buyer? Before we're gonna give you the price, Wilhelmina will ask you, how long you've been searching for rough diamond? Are you a businessman? Do you have a company? You have to send me your business license. You have to send me your importation license. You have to send me your passport and the proof of fund. The value of your order of the stone. Right? Now, so the minimum order of the stone is $100,000. Minimum. But I can negotiate to my seller. We might consider maybe 50 to 70,000. The value of the stone. So, you need to inspect the stone at the exporter's office. Now, you're gonna say, oh, Wilhelmina, is your seller an exporter of the diamond? Say, yes. My seller is a miner, a local miner. He has a license to mine. He has a business registration. But he has no export license on diamond. But my seller has an export license on gold. There are 2 export licenses. Gold and diamond. In Sierra Leone, the seller will use the exporter. So the stone will be brought to the exporter's office. You, as the buyer, you're gonna inspect it in front of the exporter's office. So the seller will bring the stone to the exporter and he will hand over to the exporter because you are going to pay the stone to the exporter's account. So now the exporter will process the KPC. So you have to down payment of 50%. This is now a new regulation. I was not aware when I was in Sierra Leone. Now I just got the feedback from my exporters, sellers exporter. They are telling me that the Ministry of Mines have a strict regulation. So you inspect the stone, right? So you need to pay to the seller's account so that it will reflect into the cash inflow. Remember the cash inflow? That you have to pay the stone to the exporter's bank account. So the exporter will show it to the Ministry of Mines, the receipt that you have paid. So do not cut corner. Do not. So then when the Ministry of Mines see the receipt that you have put the money into the exporter, so now the exporter he gonna secure all the KPs and export documentation. So the seller and the exporter conduit. Understand what this conduit means? So the seller, the owner of the stone, he will hand over the stone to the exporter. So the exporter will keep it subject for your payment. So the government gemologist will re-inspect the stone on your behalf. If you're a gemologist, fine. You inspect the stone. So then the exporter will call the gemologist, the government gemologist, to inspect. So the government gemologist will charge the seller the government fee. So don't confuse. Okay? I'm going to tell you what's going on when I was in Sierra Leone. I was not aware as well. So now I'm learning and I'm sharing you guys. So the government gemologist will inspect. He will tell you the color, the shape, etc., etc. So the government gemologist will tell, this is the charges that the government will charge the seller. So you, as the buyer, you have to pay the charges. Whatever the price we're giving you plus the charges. So if you don't have the money and then you lied yourself, and then the last minute you're going to say, oh, can I talk to your seller privately? This is what happened to the buyer recently. Ah, I'm not going to mention his name. So he went to my exporter's office. The exporter owned the building. And this buyer, he was very doubtful. I was not aware. I was not aware that this buyer have a limited cash. Mhm. I wasn't aware because the buyer, I took the buyer, he didn't tell me. He said he has the cash. So when he inspected the stone, he was excited. Right. He ordered 6 stone. So when he arrived, he was excited to order more than 6 stone. Mhm. So I wasn't aware. So that's why I'm sharing you. But if I mention the name of the buyer, believe me, this buyer will be embarrassed. So after that, he was happy. He was enjoying with us. The buyer doesn't want to talk to me. He go behind my back and he doesn't want to talk to me, and he was talking to different people, and he was being given a wrong information. So that buyer, he made the down payment. So he doesn't have money to pay total amount of 55 carats. So now I requested my seller, okay, the buyer paid the down payment, retract the payment, give the stone maybe 2 or 3 stone, the value of $21,000. Now the buyer is really very smart. Mr. Buyer, I took you to Sierra Leone, and then when you see the stone, you have been excited. You want to cut corner, you want to go behind my back. So how could I help you? How? And you go behind my back. Now you're stuck. So I asked my seller, okay, retract the stone instead of 50. I think that was a 10 stone. So I urged my seller, okay, you give the buyer 2 or 3 stone. So that was my bad experience. So this buyer is really smart, and they cannot even tell me that if they are a registered company. They are fly-by-night businessmen. Mhm. So I just found out. So because I told my seller, okay, if the buyer doesn't want to talk to me, fine, sort it out. But my seller keep on communicating with me. So I'm sharing you here. Now, Mr. Buyer, I know you are greedy. I know. Don't be greedy because you will fail. Believe me. If you cut corner, if I take you, don't cut corner. You will never become successful. Yes, because if I'm gonna take you to the ground, I want to be with you from the beginning to the end. This is exactly what I have done. My buyer from Malaysia, I was with him from the beginning to the end, and he got the gold. He got the gold. He's happy. Now this buyer that I took, the beginning, he was excited. He doesn't want to talk to me. Exactly the same as Eric Blasco in Ghana. Mr. Buyer, you're watching me. Don't do it again. Don't do it. Now, there was another buyer. I met him in Dubai. He's an Indian guy. And before he flew to Sierra Leone, I think I mentioned that on my video. He said he want to buy gold 5 kilos. He has cash, and he was been dealing with other sellers. So he asked my advice. I told him, why you haven't asked my advice? You already been dealing with the seller in Sierra Leone. So he flew the following day, and then I flew back to Australia. Because of the coronavirus, I have to leave. Maybe the country might be locked down, which is correct. So he went to Sierra Leone, and he was dealing with his own seller. It's not my seller. And he asked my help to rescue him. Madam, I'm not happy with the seller. Can you help me? So I thought that this buyer have money. Because he said to me in Dubai when I meet him in Holiday Inn, he come to see me, that he has money, the value of 5 kilos. And that buyer is a liar. He lied. He's Indian guy. So I told my seller, okay, kindly help this buyer because I cannot go to Sierra Leone because I'm on the way to Australia. I rebooked my ticket. And he's not my buyer. I only met him in Dubai. Very urgently, he was really eager to see me. So I entertained him. And I asked my seller to rescue him. So not knowing, my seller and him negotiated the price. So my seller considered it because of my validation, not knowing this buyer have no money. And he's asking for CIF. So my seller said, oh, madam, I thought this buyer have money. I said, really? And what happened? This buyer has no money. He only want to pay taxes, and he wanted my seller to bring the gold to Dubai. So what happened? He stuck again. So I told my seller, you should refuse that. And the seller was being manipulated by the buyer because the buyer was keeping begging and please help me. I'm going to sell this gold to my uncle. I'm sure you're gonna build a business in Lorangan. Wrong. I said to my seller, don't believe on buyer. Don't believe. That is why I'm going to travel again, Mr. Buyer. You failed. If I'll take you from the beginning, I must bring you to the end. You're paying my extra service. You should. You should not cut corner. Yeah. Because if I am with you from the beginning to the middle to the end, I have to talk to my seller. Hey, listen, let's fix this issue. But if you come with me and then you see the seller, you don't want to talk to me, then you, excuse me, you're gonna fail. Right. You're gonna fail. So I am advising you guys. If I'll take you, you're paying my extra service. Huh? You must remember. Do not cut corner. You need to be with Wilhelmina from the day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. Then I can assure you, I can guarantee you, you will not fail. I can guarantee you 100% why. You showed me your business license, right? You showed me your passport. You showed me your proof of fund. Therefore, you are ready to buy. But if you don't show your proof of fund and then you lied to me, and then you're going to say, oh, madam, I will pay your extra service. Come with me. You did not tell me that you have no money. So that is the reason why I'm telling you, Mr. Buyer, do not repeat it again. Do not. Because you will fail. I'm telling you 100%. Okay? Buying gold and diamond, exactly the same. Now, I have the buyer watching me. He's a very good gentleman. And this gentleman, he went to Conakry. And he saw the diamond. He would not deal with any seller without Wilhelmina. Yes? And I asked this gentleman, why you trust Wilhelmina? Madam, I know you. You are very transparent and you look after us when I was in Conakry. Now he's buying diamond and gold. He has the money now. Before he has limited cash. Now he has no money. He can travel. He's willing to pay my extra service, and I told him my extra service is not cheap. You know what he said to me? Whatever you charge me, madam, I will pay because I trust you 100%. You must remember, I don't ask you commission. I only charge you my extra service in order to accompany you. But if you cannot afford, therefore you cannot afford $500,000. If you cannot afford my extra service, therefore you cannot afford to pay the gold, therefore you cannot afford to pay the stone. That is very simple. I'm telling you direct to the point. Mr. Buyer, I'm going to summarize again. Hey? Buying gold and diamond exactly the same. You have to have a capital. You have to show us your proof of fund, your bank statement. Don't be scared. No one will steal your money. Nobody. It is in your bank account. Just convince us that you have the money. Just convince. No one will steal your money in your bank account. Nobody. Nobody. My seller would not steal your money. My seller want to see whether you are capable to pay or not. That's all we want to know. Now, I have 7 buyers already waiting for the coronavirus to be lifted. Out of 912 members of gold trade worldwide, those 912 potential buyer, I am urging you, think about it. You're a businessman. You're floating around comparing prices to prices. The price is still the same. Especially the economy, the world is on panic right now. The central bank keep printing money, no gold reserve. This gold can be safe haven for you, Mr. Buyer. This gold has many uses, you must remember. This gold can make into false teeth. This gold can make into earrings. This gold can make into jewelry and 99.99. But if you don't have the money, Mr. Buyer, how are you able to function your business? How? So, Mr. Buyer, I know you've been watching Wilhelmina. I know. And you've been window shopping, comparing prices to prices. There are so many fake offers, Mr. Buyer. I will give you a direct point how to detect the offer. Now, a hungry seller, and you're also hungry buyer, the seller will offer you cheap price. The seller will not tell you what necessary export documentation you are going to get. The seller would not tell you what cash flow is all about. He wouldn't. He will tell you, okay, here's my gold. But this seller is a local miner. A minute he's going to apply an export documentation, then the Department of Mines, Ministry of Mines will say, oh, where is the receipt of the buyer that paid your item? So the buyer cannot afford to pay, so the seller cannot explain to the Ministry of Mines because the seller has to pay the value added tax and taxes. So the receipt will reflect that the buyer pay to the exporter's account called cash inflow. Figure out, type what is the meaning of cash inflow. So if you are the buyer and deceiving yourself and you did not tell Wilhelmina in the beginning that you don't have the money, and then at the end of the day, you are begging, bring the gold to Dubai, bring the gold to Australia, bring the gold to China or Singapore or Hong Kong, CIF, then you're going to fail. You're going to fail. That is the reason why there's so many buyers doesn't like my guts. This is for you, Mr. Buyer. No such broker explaining to you. None whatsoever. When I was in Dubai 3.5 weeks ago, I think I mentioned that on my video. I interviewed 8 people. They're all boastful. Mostly are Indian joker broker. I call them joker. Indians are very wise, very sweet talker. I don't discriminate you guys, but you need to be professional. Don't lie. Tell me, okay, Wilhelmina, I have a very limited cash. Please help me. You have to tell me so that I can help you. Do not say, oh, I'm the buyer. Bring the gold to the refinery. Then we'll pay. Then you're gonna be in trouble with me because I know refinery. Refinery is your buyer, and you're buying from us, and then you're asking CIF. You are only going to pay shipping cost and insurance. It wouldn't work. We don't give you our gold without full payment. We don't. You're buying money, Mr. Buyer, to make money. You must remember. How could you make money if you don't have the money? How? The refinery will buy from you 2.5%, and we give you a good deal. I give you 8%. Sometimes we give you 11%, remember? We only give 11% when your order is big. 50 kilos. So Wilhelmina can be a very good negotiator for you. But if you come to the office without Wilhelmina, my seller said, this is the price, then you fail. There was a buyer from Ghana. I think I mentioned that on my previous video. His name is Kwasi, and he met my driver in Ghana. My driver lost his brother, met an accident. He went to Ghana, and he met this gentleman, and he owned the company. He said he owned the company, but he doesn't own the company. He's working for the company. Can you see the difference? So he traveled to Conakry, Guinea with my driver. So he said, oh, madam, I'm in your office. Everybody knows you. I said, really? And they call you Mother of Gold. I said, wow. Everybody knows me in Conakry. And my seller said, okay, show me the proof of fund. They wanted to buy 50 kilos during the time, huh? And he didn't get the gold. I said, oh, madam, on your video, you said that 8%. Why your head office give me 5%? I said, that's a good question. I said to Mr. Kwasi, Mr. Kwasi, remember? Our selling price is 5% based on the world market. But because I'm going to travel with you, I'll give you 3% extra, in total of 8%. He didn't get the gold. He didn't get the gold because he cannot produce the proof of fund, bank statement only. And he was sent by a company to make sure that the seller is real. The seller is real. So he failed. Another guy is from United Kingdom. He knows Conakry, Guinea. He sent 3 guys wearing nice suit. And he wanted to see me. I stayed at the Royal Column Hotel. And the manager looked after me. The staff, they're really very friendly. So I invited these 3 guys. If I mention the name of this buyer, believe me, you're gonna be embarrassed. So this buyer was chatting with me that he knows everybody in Conakry. So I said to him that I'm in Conakry right now. So he sent his 3 representatives. They pretend to be big buyer, but he's not a big buyer. The 3 representatives, 2 doesn't speak English, only 1. So I don't speak French. So this guy, he speaks English. He is an interpreter. So while the other representative was talking in French, so the person translated into English. They only take 15 minutes with me. And I said to this English guy, interpreter, you're just wasting your time. Your buyer knows me, and the buyer knows that this is not CIF, this is F.O.B. So go back to your buyer. I want to see the proof of fund. They are going to buy 50 kilos, he said. And these 3 representatives, he said, Madam, we are hungry and we're thirsty. I said, in what way that you're hungry and thirsty? I given you the drinks. You are thirsty, is that right? So no, madam, tell your seller, bring the gold to Dubai. I said, no, don't bullshitting with Wilhelmina. You're asking us to bring money to Dubai and we don't know you. And your buyer didn't introduce properly. So I sent the email to a chat on WhatsApp, his buyer. I said, you're wasting the time of these 3 African. You're deceiving yourself. So I said to these 3 guys, be my guest. I'll order the drinks for you because you're thirsty. They drive from border in order to travel to see me, and they failed. This buyer, if he watched this video, he knows whom I'm talking to. That is the reason why, Mr. Buyer, don't be scared with Wilhelmina. This is for you. I don't want you to cut corner. I don't want you to shorten the journey. Because if you shorten the journey, I'm telling you, guaranteed you fail. Don't lie to yourself. Just tell me, Wilhelmina, I have a budget. This is my money in my bank account. How you could help us? Don't hide your thing because I wouldn't be able to help you. But if you're very honest, Wilhelmina, I have only $500,000 on buying gold. Wilhelmina, I have $100,000 on diamond. I might able to help. Yes, because I am a negotiator, right? I am with you. I'm helping you. What is the cause of the count fail? Because of the negotiator. If the negotiator is not good, you fail. But if your negotiator is good, you will win. This is what the buyer that I talk. He saw the diamond. My gosh. First meeting, second day, they don't want to talk to me. If I mention this buyer, I'm telling you, and I discovered that he doesn't have an importation license. It's okay if you don't have an importation license. It's right. Because the seller is going to export to you. But he doesn't have the money. It's a lot of so many stories. I don't want to buy your stories. Just show me your proof of fund. Show me. Then I will help you. But if you cannot show me the proof of fund, even your bank statement, and then you make drama, you might be a famous awardee. Because Wilhelmina is really very brutal and very straightforward. Don't muck around. In buying properties, we always ask the buyer, have you been to the bank? Did the bank pre-finance for you? And they said, oh, madam, the bank allow us to borrow 450,000. That is the money. Now, on buying gold, I'm asking you, do you have money? Do you have proof of fund? And if you're not showing the proof of fund to me, you're not a buyer. You're a joker. Yes. So now, Mr. Buyer, I'm telling you, we are now locked down for 6 months here in Australia. In Conakry, their lockdown will be lifted, I think, next month. You can travel without Wilhelmina. I will arrange everything. I will monitor your movement. But if there is an issue, don't come back to Wilhelmina because I am not around. You know, African, appointment 9 o'clock, they show up 11 o'clock. And then when you call them, so many alibis, sometimes the network is not very good. But to me, when I'm with you, I keep on sending message to message to message. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Until the seller said, oh, madam, I'm coming. I'm coming. Because I'm not going to buy any reasoning. So that is this buyer. He failed because he shortened the journey. But my seller in Conakry, my buyer, I have a transaction successful. Only you fail if you don't tell the truth. Only you hide your things. Only you didn't tell me that you have a limited cash. Do not tell me I have the money. Show me the proof of fund, bank statement. This is now my lesson to everyone. If you cannot show me the proof of fund, please don't bother to talk to Wilhelmina. Don't. Madam, I want to buy 1 kilo. No. Keep your money. Stay away. Our minimum is 20 kilos. Minimum. Now, I have the buyer that has signed a contract. A long term. He's a real buyer. We exchange his business license. We exchange the article of the company. The buyer showed me how much the company have $1 million. The buyer have 10 millions. And we exchange information. We send the video presentation. This is Conakry, Guinea. The video presentation, the board saw the mines. The board is exciting to deal with us. 5 years contract. The first trial is 100 kilos. Then second month, 1,000 kilos. It says on the contract. I'm just giving you, this buyer is real. He showed us his bank statement that we have 10 million. But because the coronavirus, they cannot fly. So they are waiting. And we're giving them special privilege. Yeah? They are going to travel with me in Conakry. Now, Mr. Buyer, we have plenty of gold. Conakry, Sierra Leone, and Mali. I will be the one to know which seller I'm going to put. Because my seller have his existing customer. Yeah, we can reserve your order. We have gold. But how are you able to pay? That is the question. Yeah. Now, Mr. Buyer, I think I already explained to you. Now, to all 912 visitors on my gold trade worldwide, this is the potential buyer. 912. They are thinking and keep on reading and reading. Now, there are two kinds of buyer. Affluent buyer, they read, they study. Then the cheap buyer, they follow bullshit, asking CIF, asking letter of credit, asking bring the gold to Brinks, etc. That is called bullshit buyer. Now, I'm going to explain about Brinks. Mr. Buyer, you have an account to Brinks. The seller have his own in-house shipper. In Conakry, my seller has his own shipping. He owned 7 companies. So, Mineral Consulting Group of Company, his shipper, his own company. So, if you are dealing with Brinks, it's okay. The seller will prepare all the documentation as long as you pay the gold. Then we will hand over to Brinks. It's up to you. The gold cannot be handed over to Brinks unless you pay, because Brinks will not receive the unless there is a paperwork. Unless the seller, okay, this is the custom clearance, then the Brinks will take the gold from the seller. We will not bring the gold to your office. We will not bring the diamond to your office. We have an office. We will not bring to Brinks. No, the Brinks will come to the office and pick up the item when the buyer is fully paid. Does that make sense now? Just like a DHL. You send a package. You bring it to the DHL office, right? You fill in the form. How much is the value of the product that you were going to ship to your loved one? Then you insured. Yeah, brings exactly the same. Those brokers have no idea. So, Mr. Broker, if you are just joking, floating around in online, please get out because you will fail. I'm telling you. We only entertain buyer that can convince Wilhelmina. 3 things. Send me your letter of intent to buy, business license, your importation license, the proof of fund. Then I will believe that you're a real buyer. If you cannot prove it to me, please don't bother to talk to Wilhelmina because you will be rejected. You are buying money to make money, Mr. Buyer. You're buying banana here. You're not buying avocado. Or you're not buying lettuce here. Or you're not buying broccoli here. Today we are locked down. Broccoli here in Brisbane is $11.50. Used to be was only $2 or $3. Lettuce used to be $1.99. Today is $6. So there is no free in this world, Mr. Buyer. There's none. Even my extra service is not for free. I already given you for free. Yeah, here. There's no such broker explain to you like this. None whatsoever. I'm the only person who explained to you because I would love to help you. And I would love to do business with you, provided you are straightforward, provided you must follow the golden rules of the country. There are so many foreigners come to Africa, are crooks. Just one American buyer. He keep on calling me, Madam, I'm going to buy gold. I said, okay. He went to Uganda. He lost money. He's only losing $10,000. The 360,000 is not really 10,000 even to pay taxes. Because he said that he can get gold CIF. I said, no, it wouldn't work at all. You have to pay the gold. Gold will not leave the country of origin without payment. You are crook if you are like that. You are ripping off the seller. The seller mined the gold very hard. He's feeding his community, and you as the buyer are crooks. And then you want to become instant millionaire. That is the reason why you fell. That is the reason, because your eyes is bigger than the profit. So, Mr. Buyer, I think I already explained to you. Believe me, if you watch this video properly, you will not fail. Once I'm gonna be with you, Mr. Buyer, from day 1, 2, 3 until 9 working days, you stick to Wilhelmina, you will get what you're looking for. But if you be with me and then you don't want to talk to me, believe me, you fail. You will fail. You need Wilhelmina properly. You need it. That is why you're paying my extra service, and then you want to cut corner, and then you don't want to talk to Wilhelmina. My gosh, to me, you really cook. You wanted to get the gold or diamond without payment. So now you fell. You don't have the money to pay. So anyway, that is a very good explanation on this video. Take time, Mr. Buyer. Don't rush. Take time. Then, when you're ready, come back. At the moment, we cannot travel. There is no international flight in and out. We are on lockdown because of coronavirus. Don't panic, Mr. Buyer. Don't panic. Come to Wilhelmina. Talk to Wilhelmina. I am willing to help you, provided you're convinced that you are really a serious buyer. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening.